Start the engine, turn on the ignition key to the on position. That's the second position. The Cummins engine display will either boot up like this, or it may show a status bar progressing to the right. The shift and throttle control will have no lights on it, and it will be beeping at you. In order to start the engine, you have to take command of this station, and you do that by pressing the Control Set button twice. 1, 2. Now, the two control lights are solid green. That means you have control at this station. We can now start the engine. Engine is started. Confirmed RPM. We can scroll through data on this main screen. Gallons per hour, instantaneous information. Speed and steering angle may not be functional. We don't make those functional from the factory. Percent load on the engine, percent throttle. Gear temperature, gear oil temperature, gear pressure. Intake manifold temperature, boost pressure from the turbo, water temperature 138, oil pressure 35 psi, voltage 13.9, and then these are customizable screens as well. Probably the most basic one would be this one, to have your RPM, water temperature, gear oil pressure, all visible. Once the engine's running, you can turn on thruster controls, which is both these on buttons simultaneously. Press and hold. You should hear a click up near the bow and in the stern or near the engine room. These are the auto main switches, or the main disconnect switches engaging. The screen shows you basically that you have runtime over here as temperature. So motors are cool. Those would start to fade off if the motor temperature got hot. And the battery level being full as a dark battery and going down in each battery as voltage drops. If you now move a jog lever, you'll see in the window the bow thruster, as I'm moving the bow joystick, will show propulsion to the right or propulsion to the left, and the amplitude of that propulsion. If I do a little bit, you get a small little arrow. If I go full, you'll see it'll turn completely black. When you're on full, you'll also start to see the battery voltage drop, which is normal. As long as it rebounds back up to full when you're done, you still have capacity. Obviously, if you move them at low levels, you use very little power and you will develop low temperatures. The more you apply, the more power you use, the higher the temperatures go, and the lower the voltage goes. Once you're at the dock, you can use this hold feature, either port or starboard. We're on the starboard tie, and if I press the positive button, you'll see that both the bow and stern thruster come on in small amounts. Now, this can be adjusted to be different amounts, bow and stern. And the goal is to hold the boat solid against the dock while you are allowing your crew to tie up. This can be increased incrementally by pressing the positive button, and you'll see that as I go more, they both go up incrementally the same. I can also go down to the point where they go off. If I'm in the hold feature and I want to give a bow a little bit of a boost, I can do that, and it goes right back to where it was. Stern, I can give it a boost, and it goes right back where it was. Or if I go the opposite direction, everything turns off. I also have a remote control that I can put around my neck and take out. Again, to activate it while the thruster control is on here, both on buttons simultaneously. Now I have instantaneous control when I press a button. That's to starboard with the bow and stern, stern and bow port, or both at the same time. And to turn that off, press and hold the off button. Okay. Turn the thrusters off here is off button here. To warm up the engine, you can change the mode by pressing the mode button until warm up is lit, and then select that by pressing the control button. Didn't engage. Once I've selected it, the control lights will flash slow. Now, if I put it into forward detent, the boat does not shift, and if I give it some throttle, the RPM starts to rise, as you can see here, but the boat's not going anywhere. Back to neutral. I can change that mode by pressing the mode button. I can go into troll mode. In this case, it's called auto troll. Hit the select button. Notice the control lights go into a fast flashing mode. The auto troll is now a solid red. If I put it into gear, they turn red, and the boat does go into gear, but the clutches are slipping, and so we're only spinning the propeller at a very low rate, not at the same gear ratio and RPM that would be typical of putting it into gear and driving the boat. This is to allow you to fish at a lower speed than the idle speed of the engine. If I increase the throttle at this point, the clutches will grip more and more until they're fully locked up, and then you would get throttle. But until it goes to full lockup, you will not get any throttle. The intent of this mode is to fish. Go back to neutral. Control lights go to fast flashing green. I can change mode again by pressing mode. And now I'm back into solid green lights. We're back into normal operating mode. If I shift, the boat will go forward or reverse. Shut the engine down, very simple. After the thrusters are shut down, we're in neutral, we're tied up. Turn the key to off. Engine shuts down.